Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. From today, I'm going to start a new series on AZ-204. We will be covering the hands-on lab of AZ-204, and for those who don't know the AZ-204, let me explain for you. Basically, AZ-204 is an associate developer exam, and this certification tests your technical knowledge based on Azure compute solution, storage solution, and security, and many more things. So let's start with the module 1. We will be creating an Azure app using web apps, and let's start with exercise 1. Microsoft itself provided its own documentation for completing hands-on lab for every certification. So let's start with those labs. As you can see, Microsoft provided all the information about how to complete the hands-on lab. So first, we have to download the zip file. That is your first step. Till that, we can go to the labs. So today we are completing module 1, that is create Azure app services web apps. So that is our lab 01, build a web application on Azure platform as a service offering. This is the architecture diagram that we are doing today in this lab. So let's start with the exercise 1. So exercise 1 is build a backend API by using Azure storage and the web app features on Azure web apps. That is, we are going to build a backend API for exercise 1. And so let's start with the task 1. Open the Azure portal. So we can directly open the Azure portal by portal.azure. We need to log in on Azure. If you don't have an account on Microsoft Azure, you can create account from here by putting just simple details over there. But I have already created my account, so I will be logging to my account. When you will log into the Microsoft for the very first time, then you need to do a multi-factor authentication. So let's do that. So here is our portal. So as we need to add a subscription, but for practice we can go with free trial offer. But I have a sponsored certificate subscription, so I will be doing all this practical with my sponsored subscription, and you can go with your free trial subscription part. So let's unzip it. Here is the all file that we will be use in this particular app. So let's start. We will be doing step by step by following the Microsoft documentation. So we have completed the task one, that is open the Azure portal and log in. So our task 2 is create a storage account. So let's start with the storage account. So let's follow the step. In the Azure portal, use the search resource service and document text box to search for a storage account. So let's search here for a storage account. Here is option for storage account. On the storage account plan, select create. So let's create it. As here it is mentioned Azure Pass subscription, but for you it will be Azure Pass free. So we need to add a resource group. So if we see on the documentation, we need to add a resource group name manage platform. So let's create it. Manage platform. Select OK. The US performance plan is standard and the storage should be locally redundant. We did all these things. So let's review. And create. So you can see that initializing deployment. We are done with the 5 steps. So next step is on the overview blade, select to go to resources button to navigate to the blade of newly created storage account. So deployment is still in progress. Deployment, and so the next step is go to the resource on the storage account blade in the security networking section. So security and networking section, we need to select access keys. On the access key blade, there is an option of show keys. Review any of the key and then copy of the value of either connection string. So we need to copy one connection string. We can copy. We will be using this connection string later, so we will paste it here. Next step, we did till step 10. So let's start with task 3. We have created the storage account. Now the next step is upload a sample blob. So we are going to upload a sample blob on our storage account. So let's start on a storage account blade in the data store section. So there should be a data store section, and under this section we need to select containers, and on the containers blade, that is this one, we need to select plus container, that is we are going to create a new container for our images API. So let's create a container. We need to name the container with images, and we will be providing public access, that is blog anonymous read access for blog only. So let's create it. So as we can see, the new container has been created with the name images. So let's open it, and then we need to select a option of upload. We need to click on folder icon, and we need to select greedchills.jpg. So I have stored all these images in that GitHub repository. We need to go in all files, labs, lab 01, starter, images, and this is the image. Overwrite if the file exists and upload. So we have successfully uploaded the image on a image API. So let's complete the task 4. Create a web app on the Azure Portal navigate pane. Select create a resource. Here is option of create a resource. Here we need to search for web app. So on the web app, we need to create a web app, and again our subscription will be sponsored. Manage group, resource group will be managed platform. Name of the API should be IMG-API. As this name is not available, we will be adding so I have given a name image API Sonam. The publish should be code. Runtime stack should be .NET 6, and region should be East US. Just click on the monitor tab. Let's go to the monitoring tab. In the enable application insights section, select no, and let's review and create. And just create it. So it is validating the details, and if the details will be passed successfully, then it will deploy our web app. So it is deployment is in progress. So the deployment is completed. The next step is go to resources. So this is our web app. So we have completed with our task 4. Let's start with task 5. Configure the web app. We have created the web app in task 4 we have to configure the web app. So let's start with step 1. On the app service plate, in the settings section, so there is a settings section, we need to select a configuration link. Here is the application setting. We need to select a new application setting. Here we need to give it a name, storage connection string, and the value. We have noted the connection string, so the value should be copied from here and pasted here. Click on OK. Wait for the application setting to save before you continue with the lab. So we have successfully created the storage connection string. So let's save it. Continue. Updating the web app settings. So we have configured the web app. On the web app, on the app service blade, in the settings section, select the properties link. Here is the properties. In the properties, copy the URL of hyperlink value. So here is our URL. We need to copy. We will be using this later. So we need to paste it here. So we are completed with task 5. So let's start the task 6. Deploy an ASP.NET web app to web app. So we are deploying a web application to web apps. So let's start. On the task, select the Visual Studio Code. So let's open the Visual Studio Code. And on the file menu, select Open Folder. We need to drive into this directory. So all files, labs, 01, starter, API, and select folder. On the Explorer pane of Visual Studio Code window, expand the controllers folder. So yes, I trust. Let's expand the controllers. Okay. And then image controller.cs. We need to go on line 26, that is line 26, and get cloud blob container method, the code used to retrieve a container. So this is the code on line 26, or you can say this is the function that is used to get container from a blob container. So we have created an object of blob container, blob service container, and we are fetching the details or the image from container itself by using a storage connection string. And on line 36, observe the get method and the code used to retrieve all blob asynchronously from the images container. Line 36 is there. You can retrieve all the blob using this code. Let's go to line 55. 55, the function is used to observe the post method and the code used to persist and upload image to storage. Here it is. So on the taskbar, select the window terminal. We can go with this terminal also. And we need to log into AZ login. So we cannot directly log into Azure Portal from here. Let me explain you. So as you are saying, the term AZ is not recognized. So we need to install the Azure command line for the Azure application. So let's install it. Install for window. As I'm working on window, I will be installing on window latest release for. Let's wait for installation. Accept the license and install. Let's open up a new terminal. As you can see, it is not showing any error, so that means it will redirect us to log into the Azure portal. So let's log in. You have logged in into Microsoft Azure. You can close the window. You will be redirected to Azure C right up. So we are successfully logged in over there. So now we can continue with our tasks. So we have the successfully login, and we have done the sign in process, and we are returned to the command prompt. So next step is enter the following command and select enter to list all the apps in your Azure managed platform. So let's check our all the apps that is under resource group managed app. So let's copy it. And so earlier it was showing no web apps because we haven't refreshed our dashboard. So we need to refresh our dashboard, then only it will work. So as you can see, it has returned the value of our image API.sonam with the default host name image API sonam.azurewebsite.net. So next command is we have to find the web app name starting with the image API. So let's do it. Just copy the next command and paste it here. So command says we need to list a resource group from manage platform with the name start with image.api. So we have created an API called image API sonam. So it is listed over here. So next step, we need to do a change directory and need to select an API folder. As you can see, we are already in starters API, so we do not need to do this. Our next step is to deploy api.zip file to the Azure web app that you have created. So we need to deploy but we have to do a little change in this command. We have to give a name of our API over here. So our API name is img API sonam. Please don't put this bracket with your API name. Just give your API name here. So getting credentials on the Azure Portal navigation pane, select the resource group link. So we have completed deployment. So let's go to the Azure Portal. Okay. On the Azure Portal navigation pane, select the resource group link. So here our resource group. Then we need to select managed API, and then we need to select API of our name, that is this one. From the app service page, select browse. Here is option of browse, and return to your browser window that contains the Azure Portal. Check it out. So as you can see, we have uploaded the grilled cheese.jpg, and we are successfully able to fetch the image from our backend API using Visual Studio Code, and we have done with the backend part. And the next video we will be doing the front end part. Stay tuned for the next upcoming videos, and if you are liking my content, do like, comment and subscribe my channel. If you wanted some another series on Azure, then do let me know. I haven't created the hands-on lab part on AZ900 because that lab part is very basic. You can easily do that by your own. If also you need the hands-on for AZ900, do let me know in the comment section. Stay tuned.